Welcome to Top of the Line. I'm Nick Lynch.
And I'm Ben Heltzer.
And today we are going to be talking about what happened during the divisional round in the NFL, including both AFC and NFC games, and of course our championship game predictions. So let's get started. So Ben, the first game on the schedule over the weekend was the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. The Texans kept it close in the first half, but their defense gives up a lot of points to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Yeah, and no shame to Houston. It was obviously an amazing season, better than anyone thought they were going to do. But I couldn't help but be a little disappointed from that game. I felt like, they were just coming off a huge win versus Cleveland, and then they go and do that. Sure, Baltimore is easily the best team in the league, but I thought it was going to be at least somewhat of a good game. But, again, it was still an amazing season for Houston.
Yeah, I agree. The Texans, first of all, in the final week of the regular season, nobody thought they were going to get into the playoffs in the first place. So the fact that they got in was amazing, and the fact that they got a playoff win is even more amazing. But, all good things must come to an end. Yeah,
and it definitely was a good thing, and it's going to be it's going to continue to be a good thing. C.J. Stroud is a generational talent, and him and the Texans are going to, in my opinion, are going to run that division for years to come.
I agree. But, yeah, with the Ravens, though, on the other hand, they have a good shot of winning the Super Bowl. I know they've gotten ripped off in years past, but this year I think might be their year.
Yeah, but it could also be another team's year, the San Francisco 49ers, who played the Green Bay Packers Saturday night right after the Ravens game. And the Packers just continue to surprise me, man. I mean, nobody thought they were going to be anything. They end up sneaking in as the 7 seed and then going into Dallas and absolutely silencing the home crowd, and then going into San Francisco and nearly beating the juggernaut that is the 49ers.
But, yeah, the Packers, I think Matt LaFleur might be the best coach in the NFL right now. What he's been able to do with that Packers team, with Jordan Love, who everyone thought was going to be a bust in the 2020 draft, LaFleur has been able to develop him, and Jordan Love is another talent that for the next 10 years he's going to be dominating the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Bears and the Lions are going to be fighting for that division next year, and it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I think the Packers are in great hands.
That NFC North in about 5 years is going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah, but going back to the Niners, I think that, it was a little scary for them. They were a little rusty. And going into this week's game against the Lions, I think they need to be perfect. But I just think they have so much talent, and it would just be a waste to not go to the Super Bowl.
The 49ers, I think, in that game, they thought it was going to be easier. They got overhyped, and that's what was slowing the process down there.
Yeah, they definitely underestimated Green Bay.
Yeah, I agree. The 49ers, they will host the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game on Sunday. But speaking of the Lions, hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the weekend, the Lions get the win by a touchdown over Tampa Bay as Baker Mayfield throws an interception to seal the game for the Detroit Lions. But just what a game that was. What an atmosphere in Detroit.
Yeah, that game started out absolutely electric, and it slowed down a little towards the end, but Detroit still did enough to hang on and get the win. And Tampa is another team that had zero expectations coming into the year and ended up just exceeding that and then some. Tampa Bay, Houston, and Green Bay, nobody thought that any of those three teams would still be alive up to this point. So it's a great showing for them. And I think that, Baker is back. And I think that, this offense and this team has, rejuvenated him. And I think, he'll be, Tampa would be stupid not to at least try to keep him.
The last time the Lions were in the NFC Championship game, the iPods weren't coming out yet. PlayStation and Xbox didn't come out yet. And Dan Campbell was still in high school.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's definitely been a while.
A long while. And then the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs game. Ben, I know as a Bills fan for you, that one was hard to watch.
Yeah, that one hurt, especially because it was at home. We haven't been the Chiefs in the playoffs yet. It was we thought that it was our time, but Patrick Mahomes, you can't count him out in the playoffs, and that one stung.
It's okay. We'll make this talking point short. So, but Patrick Mahomes, his first road playoff game, and he might be Mr. Playoffs right now in the NFL.
Yeah, he's amazing. I don't even know. He's easily, if he gets the Super Bowl, no matter if he wins or not, if he just gets there with how not bad but lackluster his offense is, especially compared to previous years, he's shooting up on my all-time quarterback rankings, as well as I'm sure a lot of other people's. But going back to the Bills and Josh Allen, I think that they had, I think 3 or 4 perfect opportunities to score in the fourth quarter, and they just didn't. And I don't know what you do from here if you're the Bills, but I don't think Sean McDermott's the answer. I don't think he'll get you a ring. So I'm excited and nervous to see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah, the Bills, they just need to make it past the divisional round to get to the AFC Championship game. The Bills, everyone thought it was going to be the Bills era a few years back when they got Allen, and it's just fallen short. They've made the playoffs, they've got the job done, but they just can't finish it.
Yeah, back third place in the AFC for the Bills. And even though, obviously it was a disappointing season, all things considered, though, they were 6-6, right? And they still rattle off 5 straight wins to win the division when nobody thought they could. They made it past the Steelers, which, I mean, it's the Steelers, but still, they got to the divisional round. And I guess that's just their story. They just can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I agree. The thing with Josh Allen, too, he needs to learn how to slide. He can't risk himself. I don't think any Bills fan wants to watch Josh Allen risk himself just scrambling and getting tackled. If I was a Bills fan, I would have a heart attack every play that he runs.
I mean, I agree with you to an extent, but at the same time, he's 6'5", 240 pounds. It's not easy to tackle him, and it's not easy for him to get hurt either. I know it's possible, but if I were him, I wouldn't slide all the time, especially if you can break this tackle or get by this guy.
Yeah. So now we move on to our championship weekend predictions, starting with the AFC Championship, the first game Sunday at 3 o'clock. In the AFC Championship game, the Kansas City Chiefs against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Patrick Mahomes will play his second road playoff game. So what do you think about that? Who's going to win?
I mean, it's so hard to, bet against Mahomes, especially twice. I did it last week, but it's so hard to do it twice in one, playoffs. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. In a close, oddly low-scoring game, I think the Chiefs and Ravens defense are both going to show up. Give me the Ravens 27-23.
Okay, but we obviously know the Chiefs and Ravens have had some really good matchups in past years, but the Chiefs have come on top on all of them, but I think the Ravens are finally going to get their revenge on Kansas City. They're at home. They have the home atmosphere, and I think they're going to get the home win against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, that game's going to be electric.
Yeah. And then the second game, the NFC Championship game, we go to San Francisco, the 49ers hosting the Detroit Lions. The Lions, that's going to be a tough challenge for them, but don't be surprised if that game gets close.
Yeah, I won't be surprised at all if that game gets close, especially with Brock Purdy. We still don't know if he can elevate his team in big games, but I think he's finally going to get over that hump and get to the Super Bowl. Give me the Niners in a close one. Give me 30-26 San Francisco.
I'm going to agree with you again here. The Niners are going to get the win against the Lions. The Lions, their time is coming. In fact, it's already their time, but I don't think they're Super Bowl material to get over the hump, which is the 49ers.
Yeah, I think that they're 1 year away. And like I said earlier, the Niners just have too much talent on both sides of the ball to not make the Super Bowl. And I think that, that Ravens-Niners Super Bowl, not only will it prove the Super Bowl logo color theory correct again, I think it'll be electric, and I'm excited for it.
I think we can all agree that America's Super Bowl, what everyone wants here in the U.S. is the Ravens and the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
what
100%.
the NFL wants is the Chiefs and the 49ers for higher ratings.
Yeah, so it could go either way, but no matter which way it goes, I think Super Bowl 58 will be one for the Bucs.
I agree. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time on the NFL today, but when we come back, Matt and Noah will go over what happened this week in college basketball, so stay right here.
Hello and welcome back to Top of the Line. Today we will be covering college basketball. We are halfway through the season already, but in college basketball, regular seasons are meaningless. With 68 teams making the tournament, the regular season isn't do or die like football. Noah, let's start with UConn. The defending champions are currently ranked number 1 in the country, and looks like they have a good shot to repeat. What impresses you most about them, Noah?
You know, Matt, what impresses me most about UConn, obviously the champions last year, but for me, really, it's the same thing as it was last year, their big strength that helps them carry themselves and win big games like that. Their ability to shoot the three ball, I mean, they're just one of the best teams at doing that, and combined with their great defense and everything going for them is good. And obviously, historic basketball school in UConn. I do really think they could repeat what they did last year, and I do think they could win the championship.
The thing I'm keeping my eye on is Purdue. They kind of have that Virginia feel to them. They've had horrible tournament results in the past, but they are led by 7'4" Zach Edey and seemed poised to turn that around. Do you think Purdue is a Final Four team, Noah?
Honestly, no. I don't think they are. Purdue, they can always stack up a bunch of games against the bad teams in their conference, but they always lose to the good teams. And even every once in a while, I mean, every year it seems the one game they play Rutgers, they've taken a loss to them, whether it's off a buzzer beater or just they were outplayed. But Zach Edey, I feel bad for the dude because there are so many basketball things like overtime basketball going on outside of it that I don't think he's even projected to be a first-round pick this year in the draft for the NBA. I think he'll probably go second round if he even get drafted. He's a talented player, but the thing that kills him most is his speed. He has a lack of mobility to get around the court and create open shots for himself. Obviously, he's a big man, so that's easier said than done. But that's just a big weakness, and he's really one of the only players that impresses me on that team. Obviously, huge player for that team, but he's not going to be a huge player realistically to affect March Madness.
Well, that's all for college basketball today, but stay right there because when we return, Rocco and Noah will be talking about wrestling.
Hello and welcome to this wrestling segment of Top of the Line. As always, I'm Noah Muller.
Rocco Coppola along with you.
And today we'll be more so focused on information going around the wrestling world as this Saturday we lead up to the Royal Rumble. So without further ado, let's get ready to rumble. So Rocco, last week, we learned that Seth Rollins had a knee injury. We got an update that it was a torn MCL. So he will be out 4 to 6 weeks. Obviously, Rumble, you can't compete in Australia, Perth, Elimination Chamber, we got to see. But he should be good for WrestleMania, and that's really all that matters. So I'm thinking winner of the Rumble, this is like the most unpredictable but ideal idea. Winner of the Rumble takes the World Heavyweight Championship, so we have Punk win the Rumble. And then when Rollins comes back, obviously says he never lost it, gets his rematch clause at WrestleMania.
Yeah, why not? I think Rumble for the World Heavyweight title, it'd be... No one would see it coming, but I would love it. 30 guys competing for the Royal Rumble. Did I say Royal Rumble? Competing for a spot at WrestleMania, but for the World Heavyweight Championship. The biggest prize, in my opinion, I know my boy Roman has the undisputed title, but I like the World Heavyweight title more because it looks better. Now, you have Punk win the Rumble. He goes to WrestleMania. I mean, Punk came back in November, and he'd already win the world title within a month and a half. That'd be wild.
Yeah.
But, have Seth come back, and you could still have Cody win the Chamber and challenge Roman at WrestleMania. With this now, there's a path. Seth Rollins could come back. Now, you can't leave out there is a torn meniscus, too, so he should be back. If Zach Wilson could come back in 4 weeks from a torn meniscus and torn MCL, I'm sure Seth could do it, too. With Seth now, come back as a heel, attack Punk, set up your match at Mania. Whether Roman loses the title at the Rumble, which I don't think he will, or not, that's to be decided. Who knows? Maybe The Rock gets involved somehow in the Rumble.
Besides having him attack him, I think all that works. Just the fact that we've never really wanted roles with them. There's two amazing superstars, there's some on Mount Rushmore, but I honestly think just have them both be faces, have them just fight it out, honestly, because you don't really need to make face and heel roles to have this be a great match like it's going to be. It's just the roles are a little bit reversed now, and that's okay. Everything's still falling into place for Triple H. He just has to execute it correctly.
Oh, Triple H. Now let's get into I'm feeling a little oozy on the 2K servers this week.
Yeah, man. Today we just got word of the 2K24 cover stars for the WWE 2K24 video game coming out in April. It usually is, right?
Or March. And all roads lead to the American Nightmare.
Cody Rhodes, it will be the cover star for the Standard Edition, as well as on the Deluxe Edition, we will have Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley sharing the title. The first two women to share a title ever in WWE 2K history. It's huge, man. It's a huge accomplishment for both these women. They've obviously worked their hardest past couple of years to get to where they are.
Yeah, two of the best in the world right now at what they do. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, both top 5 women in pro wrestling right now, in my opinion. Great to see that they're breaking more barriers, if you will, getting on that cover. The Deluxe Edition, you said, too?
Yeah.
Crazy. The game looks even better than 2K23, which is crazy. And for a few years, the 2K games were not that great after 2K14, but now looking forward to this one. I should definitely buy this one.
Speaking of years, we will also be getting 40 years of WrestleMania. Rocco, all 40 years, including Rey Mysterio, WrestleMania 22, Macho Man Randy Savage, WrestleMania 6, Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 36, Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 33. You can unlock the WrestleMania
who could
39
forget?
Arena.
Who could forget Once in a Lifetime?
Yeah, that has to be in there.
Or, better yet, we get to play some of The Undertaker's old streak matches.
Taker versus Punk. I'm excited.
I can't wait. I wonder if we'll be able to play Taker versus Brock from Mania 30. We got to be. I mean, it's historical.
It ended the streak, so.
We'd probably do Taker versus Snuka. Taker versus Sid could be in there. Taker versus Triple H for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I wish they would also bring back Road to WrestleMania, though. It's kind of a bummer.
They still could.
I'd anticipate, because listen, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 had some of the goofiest storylines in that game, and it was fun. Whether it was Randy Orton becoming the general manager, making Stephanie McMahon step down, or what else? Rey Mysterio getting a concussion, Jack Swagger being his best friend. Oh my goodness. The Undertaker storyline was just freaky.
Yeah. On that note, though, WWE 2K24, you can pre-order it now. It will officially come out. We do not have the date currently, but I'm sure that will get released very, very soon. But you can pre-order Deluxe Edition or you can pre-order the Standard right now. Just very exciting news.
I could finally push Karrion Kross in the
Finally.
2K games. You know who shouldn't be getting pushed? Gable Steveson.
Dude, we have just multiple times been seeing that Gable Steveson getting pushed on taped. I mean, it's unacceptable, dude. Last appearance was, what was it? It was something NXT. No Mercy. Again, or was it No Mercy?
I can't even remember because he's not even there.
Oh, Great American Bash against Baron Corbin. That was terrible. It was a double countout. That was his last match, and now...
How many matches has the guy even had?
Not many. And honestly, he should have just left to go back to college wrestling.
People said that he was the next Brock Lesnar. Yeah, newsflash, people. Brock Lesnar was once in a generation.
Looking like the next Velveteen Dream, dude.
What are we doing here?
It's horrible.
What are we doing?
So, on that note, Royal Rumble coming up on Saturday. We already said it. What is your return wish list for returns in the Rumbles?
I got a feeling Papa H is going to cook so hard this weekend. Saturday's going to be real fun. And the Royal Rumbles in the last couple of years have been pretty, Like, Rhodes winning was cool. Gunther was cool with the way he lasted. 2022, I think we can agree, was a disaster. Ronda Rousey, what? Brock Lesnar, what? Like, I think Cena can make an appearance in the Rumble. I think he could find his way in. Like, I don't think Cena's chapter in the WWE is just done just yet. I think Michelle McCool will make a little return. Victoria could come back for the women. Lita, Trish Stratus for sure. I mean, that's kind of obvious. I mean, for the men, there's a big list. Like a really, really, really deep list that you could go. Like, The Rock could somehow, even though it's kind of a pipe dream. It's such a long list of names that you can't even pick a few.
I'll give you mine. So, permanent returns, like people who are actually going to stay and work in the WWE. I'll give you a couple here. Naomi, she just left TNA. So,
Maybe
it's pretty much
Sasha.
confirmed she's coming
Maybe
back.
Sasha comes back.
Maybe Sasha.
Maybe Sasha comes back if she realizes Tony Khan can't run a wrestling company.
Yeah, I don't know about Sasha, but I mean, we'll see.
Could you imagine if Kazuchika Okada debuted?
Okada would be insane.
That'd be wild.
Andrade El Idolo.
Oh,
he's gonna come back as Cien Almas, but they've been waiting on him for a long time, but it's been legitimately leaked that he has a deal with them because Charlotte Flair pushed it. So, and I think the biggest one coming back from what could have possibly been career ending, I think Big E comes back at number 30, and I think he gets one of the biggest pops we've seen, dude, because his career could very well be over, but I think it's not even close. I think he's completely healthy. I can't judge it from his standpoint, but he said on TMZ he doesn't have a timeline. I think his timeline was Saturday. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'd love to see Big E come back. Big E was always good in the ring, good on the mic. He was fun as Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard, and I think it was really upsetting when he got hurt. And he was in a good title run before Vince decided to hand it to Big Boy Brock.
Yeah, the New Day reunited, man. That'd
Disappointed.
Awesome. So Royal Rumble winners. There's obviously been a couple. It's very scattered here, but what are your men and women Royal Rumble winners?
I think it's obvious at this point. I think CM Punk, whether it's for the world title itself or to main event, I think Punk wins it. He could get out in the last three, though. Maybe Triple H wants to swerve us, but I'll go with CM Punk. And I think my Royal Rumble winner for the women, I'm going to go with Liv Morgan. I think she's going to come back. I think she's going to win. They wrote her off TV. They want to get revenge for her against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania because Rhea is the one who took her out. I've been hearing rumors Nia Jax could maybe win the Rumble.
Oh, God, no.
She's gotten better in the ring, though. I got to give her credit.
Yeah, but
Nia's a lot better. It was fun watching her beat Becky Lynch to a pulp.
promos leading up to WrestleMania from Nia Jax, I'd rather just
Let
not
Liv
watch wrestling.
let Liv and Punk do it, and I'll be a happy man.
I'm thinking, obviously, CM Punk, he'll honestly maybe win the World Heavyweight Championship in that match. But I think it's destined to be Punk at this point. And for women's, I'm going to go Bayley. Because I think there's going to be a complete swerve. Obviously, Bayley wants to win the Rumble, go after Rhea Ripley. I think she wins the Rumble. But I also think that she will, since she's been feeling kind of out of the group recently, she said she'd go after Rhea. I think when she does her call out, she'll go for Io. And I think they'll all turn on each other.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. And it'll be huge because that Bayley will finally get something interesting and maybe even win a world title.
For once.
Yeah. And tonight, this is the last week, obviously, before the Royal Rumble, so we have one episode of Raw, one episode of SmackDown. We still have basically a full card to fill out with matches. So about 3 or 4 more matches besides the 2 Rumble matches, Logan versus Kevin Owens in the Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah, so we know the world title match, unless they get a wild announcement that it's going to be for the title for the Rumble. I don't think that's going to be on the line, only if the world title isn't put on the line in the Rumble. What else? The Intercontinental Championship, I don't think Gunther's slated to compete.
He should be. I think he gets a match against Kofi Kingston, just kind of a filler, because he can't fight in the chamber.
Yeah, so that would make 5 or 6, maybe 4 if the world title match. Well, the world title match is not happening, so that's 5 now.
Or maybe face Jey Uso.
The tag titles,
First DIY. DIY will win the tag titles off of Judgment Day.
I think it'll be fun to see. I can't wait to see what's next for the Judgment Day.
Yeah. Honestly, it'll be a fresh start for them. And SmackDown still needs like a match or two more. So obviously, if Io Sky, who would she defend against?
I think they're just gonna shuffle the women off. I think they're
Yeah.
not really a priority this weekend.
Yeah, honestly. And are there any other titles? There's the women's tag, but those aren't getting defended. We could see a possible cash-in, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
What if
Damian Priest? Oh,
cashes in the Royal Rumble?
if it's for the title, I don't even know how that would work.
You can't.
Does the Rumble match just end? There's no winner.
You would somehow best the champion's greatest Money in the Bank cash in of all time. Somehow, some way.
Oh my goodness.
That's gonna do it for us in the wrestling world. But don't go anywhere. Next to Andrew and Marco, we'll be talking about the Premier League on Top of the Line.
Hello, I'm Marco Baldino,
And I am Andrew Mirzaaghasi.
and we will be covering this week's games in the Premier League.
So we're on week 21, and to start things off for you, you get a win from Fulham. Even if it's by like 1-0, every win still counts. So how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really good about this win, but it was only 1-0. Cole Palmer was the only person to score in this game. It was the last play of the first half. Raheem Sterling wins the penalty for Chelsea, and Cole Palmer just finishes it. Once again, Cole Palmer, excellent performance by him.
Yeah, especially during his penalty. I could at least see that, Chelsea won. You could give that a pat in the back.
Yeah, and our goalie Petrovic, I think that's how you say his name, made 2 really good saves to keep the shutout and really keep Chelsea in it. Towards the end, it got kind of scary because everyone, I think a free kick in the end for Fulham, it was just everyone's up. It got a bit scary towards the end, but Chelsea were able to come away with the win. I feel like Chelsea could have had a second goal. We hit the post twice and had some other good opportunities, but I guess only one works for Chelsea.
I mean, one always works, you could say that.
Yeah.
So for this one, Man United versus Tottenham ends with a tie to 2-2. It was very exciting in the first half, however, mostly it was because the goals happened, honestly. McTominay had such a good chance to win for United, but he couldn't finish the header in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I mean, all the goals happened in the first half. That's where all the excitement was, but nothing much else happened in the second half. Even though there's some really good opportunities, but I don't get how some of them weren't converted into a goal.
Yeah, I feel like you took the winniness of Man United, where they could barely score at all, and you take Tottenham, where they went from first to fifth, and they're kind of a little bit struggling, and then you turn this and make it a tie. So, an average game, I guess.
Also, Timo Werner's his debut was today for Tottenham, and yes, people, Timo Werner is at Tottenham now, back in the Premier League.
Interesting.
I'm excited to see how he plays out, even though his debut wasn't too well. He didn't do too much. But I'm excited to see how he does.
So the next game, Man City versus Newcastle, 3-2. Within the first minutes of the game, I got upset because I thought Newcastle would score. However, they ruled it as an offside, so still 0-0. Silva would score an impressive back kick that would put them early in the lead. However, Isaac would score in the 35th minute, making it a tie. However, 2 minutes later, Anthony Gordon would come in and make a lead 2-1, and then it goes to the second half. Then the man, the myth, the legend comes in at the 74th minute. Kevin De Bruyne makes it a tied game. And near the end of the game, within 2 minutes at the end, Bob comes in and scores, making it a Man City victory.
Yes, Kevin De Bruyne is back for Man City.
He is back.
He's looking great, nice hair and everything. And after all this time, he's finally back. His first touch of the game was a free kick, did hit the wall. But later in the game, he would score such an important goal.
It was very important.
Came to Manchester City's win.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Bob scoring in the last 2 minutes, it would have been a tie. I would thank Kevin De Bruyne for that. But we were able to pull off a victory there, and I'm very happy for that. Pretty happy, honestly.
I would be happy too. Your best player is finally back.
Yep, he's finally back. Hopefully he can help us during the rest of the games. And I see a bright future for Man City. So, for the standings, for first place, still Liverpool with 45 points. In second place, Man City with 43. In third, Arsenal with 43 points. In fourth place, Aston Villa with 43 points. And in fifth place, Tottenham with 40 points. So in terms of points, there is a second place three-way tie in the terms of points, not goals scored.
Yeah, I mean, the goals make the difference. That's why second place, third place, and fourth place. We can't have a tie for the standings.
Yeah, we can't have tie for standing. And I'm really surprised from second to fourth it was Ashton Oviedo.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect their reign in top three to be too long, but they're still in a good Champions League spot, so they could still make the Champions League.
Yeah, they could still make it. It's just that they need to put more oomph into their step. I could say that.
All right, thanks for watching. Tune to next week for a recap of NFL and college basketball games, results of SmackDown, Monday Night Raw from WWE, and continued coverage of the Premier League. All and more on the next episode of Top of the Line.